The crisis is here. Several hours after this video posts, Nancy Pelosi will touch down in Taiwan, and according to some people, all heck is going to break loose. And that could be true. Looking into my crystal ball, I can only see the present. Mine doesn't even work backwards into past. It just shows the present in upside down. But some people's crystal balls apparently tell them what's going to happen tomorrow and in the several hours beyond here. But I believe for the rest of us, we're going to have to wait and see what actually transpires. But the crisis is already here. You talk about the folks in Kentucky with the flooding. We talk about the folks in Las Vegas, New Mexico, who are watching the water levels in their reservoir rapidly drop because of the flooding and the forest fires there. They are going to be running out of water soon, it looks like, and they're rapidly trying to figure out how they're going to get around that. Other flooding in St. Louis, other places around are in crisis mode because of the forest fires. SHTF is hitting us all around. Many people are going into SHTF situations today and have been in for weeks. Some people got that diagnosis from the doctor last week or maybe even today. And their world is crumbling and ending. How do we survive in this? How do we not lose hope? How do we keep moving forward? We need not only to have the supplies and the resources and the relationships that we need in order to get through this, but we need to have hope. When we have hope, we need to have a purpose. I was just talking about this with somebody over the phone yesterday, that we need to have a purpose or else our survival is irrelevant. What happens if you last another 50 years on this planet but still achieve absolutely nothing? No impact on anyone else's life. Sure, you will prefer to have 50 more years versus not having 50 years, but the world really won't be any different for it. Unless you have a life that is impactful. Whose lives around you are you destined and purposed to impact? Many people do not live up to the high calling or purpose or destiny, whatever you want to call it. I say God has a purpose for every single person, that if you follow Him, He will guide you into serving the world and changing the world around you. But other people have different words for it. Other religions say it different ways. Those who are atheists would say it a different way. People who believe in karma or whatever force of nature. My point is, there's a reason why so many people die shortly after retiring. Once they lose the purpose of their job, if there really isn't much purpose else in their life, oftentimes they die relatively soon thereafter. It's oftentimes where spouses that have been together for a very, very long time, after one passes away, the other soon follows after. When you lose your purpose, I don't care how much rice and beans you got. I don't care how many rainwater collection systems you got. I don't care about all that. If you lose hope, if you lose purpose, either one of those, you need to have a purpose and you need to have hope that you're going to be able to somehow achieve that purpose. If you don't, then you're going to start asking yourself the question, when things get awfully hard and rough, why? Why should I keep pressing on? In prisoner of war camps in World War II and many other times, there were those who did not have purpose, did not have hope. They lost their hope, they lost their purpose, and they soon passed away. They gave up. Will you give up? In order to survive, you must have purpose. But even with survival, if you could survive without a purpose, like I said, what's the point? Most of you know that I have a Bible study channel. It's called Bold Faith Bible. You can always find in the description down below, or you can go up to the channel tab if you go to the channel page here, and that will take you directly over there. I do daily Bible studies during weekdays, and I have a study going through the book of Revelation about what's to come. So if you're like, what comes next? Well, I'm doing a whole study on that, so you can hop over there. Nothing crazy, but if any of you have never studied the Bible before, or you're not a Christian and you're just kind of curious what the book of Revelation is about, you can walk through that. It's very cookies on the bottom shelf, so to speak. But we need to find our purpose. And I keep saying, don't just stock stuff for you, stock for some additional people. Because when the crisis comes, you will be able to bring other people in and help them. And even if you don't give a flying flip about them, I'll say this. If you have to watch the world perish around you and fall apart, those people that you save will give you purpose. You'll say, I'm at least doing something. I'm at least making the world a better place. For these people, the world is a better place. I can't strongly enough recommend that to you. And you say, well, I'm going to watch out for my family. I would recommend beyond your nuclear family, beyond your spouse and your children, find some other people. Because your spouse and your children really are about taking care of you. Yeah, they're you. You're taking care of you right there. That is not really you being selfless. Taking in someone who can't necessarily do anything for you, or taking in somebody who really you don't have a connection with in that same way is a different order of business. Now, I draw that partially from Scripture, so maybe you disagree with me on that, but listen to it before you reject it. Someone outside your family, someone you don't have a duty to, someone you say, I don't have to, but I will because it's the right thing to do. Okay. Put it another way, someone that you help that you'll at least get some brownie points for. If you take care of your wife, your husband, your kids, no brownie points for you. Like, that's your duty. That's your job. Like, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's not rewarding. I'm not saying anything like that, but it is your job. It is your duty. You're a horrible, despicable human being if you don't take care of your family. Truth, right? Truth? That person walking down the street, that family walking down the street, do you really have an obligation to them? I mean, we'd all say, well, kind of, yeah, because they're human beings. But you don't actually have like a duty to those specific people. By doing something generous and loving, sacrificial love, I believe that you are displaying the character of God, or you doing something selfless, however you want to word it. That, I think we all, when you think about it and when you feel it, I think you all agree with me that that is at its very core what it truly means to be the best form of human. You know, some of you will say what it means to be human is an animal that you know, takes what's theirs and is selfish and greedy and evil and blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about what humans ought to be. Humans in their glory are. And that is that they sacrificially give to one another. To someone that can't repay them. That's the most beautiful, highest expression, and we call that love. Having love, mercy, compassion upon someone who does not deserve it. If you're a Christian, you would word it and say that you are reflecting and imitating the best nature of God. If you're something else, you know, I'm sure you have some kind of words for that. But sacrificial giving to other people to do things. There's people in SHTF situations around you everywhere right now. And it's not your job to pull every single person out of SHTF, but it is your purpose and duty and highest calling to enter into certain people's SHTF situations and help them. People who it's not your duty to help. You will find meaning and purpose in that, and that may be more valuable to you than your rice and beans. Officers who felt the task and weight of serving the prisoners of war under them had higher survival rates, even though they were abused at a higher rate. Because they had purpose. Do you want to survive the hard times coming? Do you want to survive the SHTFs, the disasters of everyday life? You need to have people that you are giving to sacrificially. Am I beating a dead horse? Absolutely. But are you hearing me yet? You're going to enter a SHTF situation sooner or later. Your health is going to decline. The world's going to fall apart. The whole Taiwan thing is going to blow up. Something's going to happen, and it's going to shove you into a time of crisis and a time of testing. And who you will be in that moment, I promise you, will not be much more spectacular than you are today. Who you are today is who you will enter into the crisis to be. And that crisis will give you the opportunity to either rise to a higher level of purpose and calling, or you will choose to become less than. I know some of you are already saying it and have been saying it so far in this video. I don't know why you're still here if you've already been saying it. And that is that, but Steve, I don't have an obligation or duty to help anyone else, and I'm not going to help a stinking, filthy person out there. If you're a despicable human being before you go into SHTF, I mean, yeah, that's what you're going to be during the crisis too. And the world really won't care if you die or survive, because who cares? The people that are serving and helping and loving and leading and sacrificing of themselves for other people, those are the people that the world is going to care about, whether they survive or not. If you like this video, you might want to check out this video up here or here. Otherwise, I will see you later. Steve Poplar, out.